Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fall. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
On the way, with Congress ready to vote as soon as today on a massive pandemic relief plan after months of gridlock.
The agreement on this package could be summed up by the expression, better late than never.
The $900 billion deal includes checks for many Americans. People making less than $75,000 a year will get $600, or $1,200 for couples making less than $150,000, plus $600 for any child in the family. That adds up to $2,400 for the average family of four. The package gives an additional $300 a week in unemployment benefits and provides $325 billion in help for small businesses, including an extension of the Paycheck Protection Program. There's nearly $70 billion for vaccine distribution and testing, more than $80 billion for schools, and $25 billion to help renters, too. The deal also keeps the government funded until next fall. If Congress passes this, it would be the second biggest stimulus package ever, behind only the first round of pandemic relief earlier this year.
So the first thing that has to happen is the House and Senate have to vote to pass it. That could happen as early as today, right before government funding deadline at midnight. Then it's off to the president for his signature. If those things go as expected, and remember, things could always change until this bill is finalized and passed, people should expect to see those stimulus checks via direct deposit a couple of weeks after the bill is signed.
Oh! All right. Well, you've been stimulated. You've been stimulated by Mitch McConnell. As much as anybody could be stimulated by Mitch McConnell. How could $900 billion be so disappointing? How, you know what it's like? It's like it took so long that the value has diminished. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like when, do you ever get an invitation to attend the wedding of friends who have lived together for 10 years and already have 3 kids? That's what this is like. It's like, oh, you need a toaster? Is that what this is about? I mean, this is like what it is. Oh, I'm Mitch McConnell. He's standing on the floor going, the bill is packed with targeted policies. Yeah, I feel targeted every time I see your face, you freaking turtle man. I mean, you know, and here's the thing. If you make under $75,000 a year, or if you are married and your household together takes in less than $150,000 a year, you will get $600, which the GOP thinks should last you 10 weeks. I honestly, I certainly hope that makes up for losing grandma and grandpa. This is not for high income earners. This is not for even the middle class. This isn't for anybody that makes one penny over $99,000. Now, I will tell you, between $75,000 and $99,000, the amount of $600 decreases, but you will get something. But over $99,000, you know, the people who make that much, they're too busy laughing at it to even want it. Oh, but there's $7 billion for broadband, broadband access. So for all you people who look pixelated on your Zoom meetings, help is on the way. Here's Mitch, sorry.
For workers at the hardest hit small businesses, there will be a targeted second draw.
Don't target me.
Of the Paycheck Protection Program. We've not worked so hard to save as many jobs as possible all these months, only to fumble the ball with vaccinations already underway. So this agreement will provide huge sums for the logistics that will get these life-saving shots to our citizens as fast as possible. This package will renew and extend a number of the additional important federal unemployment benefits that have helped families stay afloat. With the particular request and emphasis of President Trump and his administration, our agreement will provide another round of direct impact payments to help households make ends meet and continue our economic recovery. We'll be repurposing more than $560 billion in money that was already set aside by the CARES Act, but not spent toward these urgent needs that I've outlined.
I mean, you talk about a Grinch. So, yes, it's true. Just like I told you, they were taking the $500 billion that was previously appropriated, that Mnuchin clawed back, right, and reappropriating it in this bill. So really, all that this particular GOP Senate was willing to give the American people, who are we're about to hit 18 million infections. 18 million infections. We're at 17,999,990, something like that. We're just about to hit 18 million infections in this country. And the most this man could give for people to stay home so that we can wait it out to get these vaccines, right, was $400 billion. That was it. Because 500 was already appropriated in the CARES Act and taken back and now reappropriated as if it was new money. But you know what he didn't tell you? He didn't tell you that what is in the stimulus package is the 3 martini lunch tax break. You know what that is? That means if you go out for business dinners or you go out for business lunches, 100% of that bill for expensive lunch. I mean, people are waiting in food lines for a can of corn. But if you go out with your business buddy and say that you talk business for 5 seconds, you can deduct 100% of the lunch, including alcohol purchases, 3 martini lunch. They say that's to help the restaurant industry. Here's a question. You know, I'm just a bleeding heart liberal, so here's a question. Why didn't you just give the money to the bartenders and the servers? Why does it have to pass through some rich person's hand in order to get to me, the waitress or bartender? Why is that? Because that's America. The money has to pass through the rich people's hands. Only they know how to spend money. See, you'll go out and you'll do crazy things, like buy food, you know, that you cook at home. Who does that? Who does that? No, we need to filter economic relief through some expensive cocktails first. See, this is trickle-down economics. And now we know that it's actually not just trickled down, but it's distilled. Now, I wonder if I take some business person that I discuss business with for, 5 minutes out to dinner, and I order 6 martinis, do I get twice the benefit? I don't know. Yes, I do. I do know, because you could deduct 100% of that bill. I mean, what is wrong with them? Really, seriously, and the Republicans didn't even want to do this much.
The agreement on this package could be summed up by the expression, better late than never, although I know many of my Republican colleagues wished it was never.
Yeah.
But after a long and arduous year, after a year full of bad news, finally, we have some good news to deliver to the American people. Make no mistake about it, this agreement is far from perfect, but it will deliver emergency relief to a nation in the throes of a genuine emergency.
It's like it's used unused money. You understand that? It was money you were supposed to get in the first place. You didn't get it because they didn't give it to you, and then they said, "Oh, you know that money that we didn't get here, we're going to give it to you now and call it new." I mean, this is, look, I'm the youngest. I'm used to hand-me-downs, but really, great. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.